What is the greatest thing that seems to make the church or followers of Christ ineffective and really just white noise to others?
Here are 3 main reasons why authenticity is so important in seeing growth in your spiritual walk.
Hey, we're Micah and Jessica with Every Heart Restored, and we feel and we know that authenticity is huge when it comes to your walk with Christ and when you are witnessing and living amongst others in this world, especially with those who have no idea who Christ is. And so here are some 3 reasons why we think it's really important that if you are going to be the church, if you're going to be someone who knows Jesus, that authenticity is key. And the thing is that the quickest way to be a fraud as a Christ follower is by being inauthentic. And what that means, or it looks like, is really if you're not vulnerable with your struggles, if you're not open to being teachable when you mess up, or if you're not celebrating what God is showing you or brought you through, then you're kind of being a fraud in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and being a fraud can look like having a hard time being transparent. It's so common for people to want to keep up with appearances because they're afraid of being judged, or they just want to keep up that facade that everything's fine in their life. Everything's good. I live a good Christian life. My life is perfect. But the truth is none of us are. We're all broken. And so keeping up that appearance is going to burn out at some point. And to be truly authentic, you need to be transparent for who you really are.
Most definitely. And the second thing is when it comes to either being a fraud or the real authentic thing, well, people know the difference, And one way that they know the difference is if you're going to use language or act in a way that is exclusive or inclusive. And the church should be a culture of inclusiveness.
Yes.
I think I got that word right.
Yeah, because you know what? Church is not a country club. This is not an exclusive club that meets, that has to look a certain way, act a certain way, talk a certain way. We are to be an inclusive place where people can gather in their own individual brokenness, because none of us are perfect. We're all human, and so we need to be able to accept all into church. I mean, people come from all different walks of life, and they all have different struggles, and we have to be able to be a place that can receive them and produce a safe place for them to be accepted just as they are.
The thing we see in the Bible that Jesus teaches us or models to us is that we watch him in the Gospels take people who are on the edges or outcasts or what we call marginalized, on the margin, not in the center. And what he does is really unique, is that he restores them in this right relationship with him, with God, right? There's usually a conversation about faith. There's usually a conversation about what's going on in their heart state. And then God usually heals them. God then restores them into community, into deeper fellowship with each other. And so I think that's the model that we need to see, is that regardless of if a person is in a moral right place with God through his word, through Bible, through scripture, what we need to do in an authentic place is know that we've already had that encounter with Jesus. We've already had that conversation of you know what? You're right, God. I have fallen short. And in that place, I can celebrate the reality that I've been redeemed, I've been restored, I've been brought back into a rightness, whether it's in your moral life and your ethics and the way that you think and see the world through a scripture lens. And that way you're able to know what it's like to enter into fellowship with those who are in that same state. And then what that does is when you see someone who's kind of on the fringe of, or on the outside or on the outcast, we need to extend that same model that Jesus did to them. And that's that inclusiveness. And so the third point is that the truth is that God either reveals himself to you, or some things are a mystery that require faith. And so when we live in this authentic faith life, we realize that it's not about giving cheap answers for things.
Right.
that God hasn't revealed to us yet. If you're using kind of that superficial talk, and you're not aware that you're kind of using exclusive church language, then you're actually kind of alienating yourself from people who don't know who Jesus is yet. And so that's something to be aware of, is to have that ability to talk insider and outsider language. And so the other thing is that you have to have confidence in what God has demonstrated to you. And that if God has saved you from something, if God has freed you from something, if God has broken you out of just this pain or depression or addiction or shame, then you need to be confident that that's God's work in you. And that is the opportunity to have confidence to extend that to others. And he did it for not only you, but he did it for those that you're going to walk into this life with, that you're going to bump into at the store or whatever. He wants to use it.
And I just want to encourage you that, we shouldn't be ashamed of where we've come from. And in order for true growth and healing to take shape in your faith walk, you need to be known for who you truly are. And that's where God is able to break through, and you're able to be transparent and be known for who you are inside and out, where you've been in life, your true brokenness, because we're all broken. We're all healing every day. And in order for God to be able to move through your heart, you need to be known by others so that you can be encouraged by your church family. And so we just really encourage you to not be afraid or ashamed of where you've been or who you are, what your story is. It's meant for God to be able to break through and redeem you in those ways, and for you to be a blessing to others as well.
The world needs the church to be authentic. It needs the good, bad, and the ugly, right? And this is what we're doing. This is our way of our ministry, sharing with you that we're not perfect. We've got our character flaws and marks, And really, we realize that if we're not vulnerable and authentic, then we're going to be ineffective. And it's going to be a dead, cold religion that people are just fleeing from. They don't want nothing to do with that. Rules and regulations. Yeah. No. It's about that relationship with Jesus. And that it's that supernatural, out of this world reality when he gets a hold of your life and he transforms you and he restores you. And that's what he's done for us in so many ways, in our lives and our backgrounds and our relationship and our kids and finance, all the stuff we want to talk about.
And as you follow us, you'll start to know more of each of our stories. We're not perfect people by any means, and we're just here to bring restoration, and that's our purpose with this ministry. And so I guess this topic, authenticity, is kind of where we come from and where we're pushing off from.
So we hope that those things help you to see that that's what's key. That's what the church needs to be. It needs to be authentic. It needs to be real and transparent. It needs to be about inclusiveness. And it really needs to be the reality that God is going to reveal his truth to you, and not those cheap answers, right? And so I hope that this is helpful to you. If you could just comment below, like this video, share, let us know what are ways that you are trying to be authentic in your faith, whether that's struggles or those victories. And that way we can see that, hey, we're actually talking about something that the world needs to know. So we encourage you to go to our website, everyheartrestore.org, sign up for our blog. We love sending out new posts. We try to do a video every week, and it's really, we're just on this journey together. And I hope that you will be a part of that.
Yeah. God bless you.